welcome back everyone, welcome back to another weekend edition here of the PiGosaur Cup. PiGosaur Cup number 82, your weekly dose of PiGosaur Cup action. I'm of course just live VIP, and with me enjoyed by these amazing players and by the people in the chat as well. Welcome one and all this lovely Thursday morning. Of course, last night we were live with the GSL. We were also live with PiGosaur Cup 83 last night as well. But if you recall, last week we actually missed out on PiGosaur Cup 82. We didn't miss out on it. Usually we do cover PiGosaur Cups live, but we did miss out on last week's events. We're here to catch up. We're here to catch up with our tournaments, catch up with the PiGosaur Cup, and catch up on those otherwise missed games that we did not quite be able to cover. Let us go. So this is going to be a replay cast from last week's tournament, bear that in mind. So these matches are going to be around a week old, but we are still going to be able to feature some fun, fancy new TLMC maps. True. That's what really matters most here, is featuring those TLMC maps to be able to see how our players do kind of like divulge into them, with how they explore them as well, and whether we get to see anything new, anything fancy. I'm ready for it. I'm excited. We're going to be jumping into the semifinals. Our first matchup here is going to be a TVP between ByuN and Geralt. When it comes to the rest of our weekly schedule, of course, later on tonight we're going to be live with GSL. We have the GSL Group B, that's going to be later on this evening, of course, and then tomorrow we'll be live with the code for Giants Cup as well. We'll get there. We will get there. Otherwise, let's jump in. Let's jump into our Terran versus Protoss matchup, into ByuN versus Geralt of all players. Now, if you remember, we did cover Geralt during the Sparkling Tuna Cup, and Geralt did emphasize that he was very unfamiliar with the TLMC maps, as he was very inactive over the past couple of weeks. But great to see him back, great to see him return, and we'll see how he does showcase himself here on these new maps. Let's go. As spawning is up the right corner of Rainfall, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Geralt. You can tell I'm still waking up, Matthew. Aye. Let's have a look in. We will look in. So we calm down, we settle into Rainfall. For this, remember, Rainfall is one of the smaller maps of the map. Smaller map, shorter rush distance by ground. Aggression is going to be favored here on Rainfall, and we'll see how aggressive ByuN plans on being. I know that ByuN, he does often kind of like to mix in mid-game base play instead of all-ins, and go for timing attacks and try to gain momentum that way instead. ByuN has his own different approach to TVP. Likewise, he also does like to mix in, say, racks into tech lab based play, into early Marauder production, or 3-rack sim timings, or even going for 3cc 3-racks as well. So we'll see what ByuN does bring to the table here against Geralt. Let's go. Let us go. When it comes to the changes that we've seen from Rainfall, I believe it's mainly just been visual changes. The rain is less heavy than it once was. You know, there aren't any massive puddles of water. We were told that it was disrupting some of just the visual aspect of the map itself, and it was difficult to really see things and difficult to really recognize what's going on, especially with creep. So it did turn down the water, turn down the rain. Still raining, but not as much as it once was. True. Meanwhile, speaking of Tech Lab into Marauder, so we get here, racks into Tech Lab into Marauder. Okay, now what's important is that Geralt, he just scouted. Geralt, he went across the map, he was able to scout and confirm with his probe. Now the question becomes, behind this, do we go 3cc 3-racks, do we go for 3-racks, do we go for a 2-on-1, do we go for a 1-1-1? ByuN is very fond of doubling down and throwing down extra racks alongside this to go into a stim timing, but eyes are on ByuN. At least when it comes to initial Marauders, ByuN shouldn't get much done here. Geralt shouldn't be active, as he is aware of the Marauders popping out, and now, of course, confirms. Does confirm. The Zealot is going to be shut down. We'll delay the CC somewhat. Yeah, we get a bit of a delay. Here. At the same time, we do have ByuN claiming his factory, going for not an additional 3rd CC, but he's going for a 2nd racks though. Okay, so still very aggressive. Meanwhile, hello Geralt, what is the plan? Does veer towards left hand side, but is coming in for a scout. Now, based on the production setup here, this is looking like the beginning of a 2-base all-in. Why do I say that? Well, ByuN is going to be delaying his starport. There's a world where he throws down a third racks. So racks into factory, into second racks, into third racks before starport to prioritize stim, combat shields, and a bio setup. And that is not a third racks, that is a starport. This is a 2-on-1. Okay, this is a little bit different here. 2-on-1s are not unheard of in TVP, but they are still a little bit rarer. They're obviously more common against Zerg, a little bit rarer here against Protoss, and we'll see if ByuN can get away with this. Meanwhile, I was curious if this was for a proxy Dark Shrine, and it is going to be for the proxy. Dark Shrine is back at home, but DTs are on the way. Now, we have seen Geralt actually defeat ByuN with DTs before. Like, that's very vivid in my mind. We've seen it happen before. Can he do it again? If ByuN's if he mules at the wrong moment, if he does not have a scan available, then this can get very, very out of hand and out of control. Again, we have seen ByuN instant GG to DTs from Geralt in the past. So cheeky move, Dark Shrine is finishing. And do we have a scan? Okay, so we have soon to be 40 NG on the natural. We just went for a mule here in the main base, so there's soon to be a scan at that natural expansion, but I believe the DTs will be hitting a little bit later here. Yeah, Dark Templar warping in. There's a high chance we mule. 50. He's got the energy. Does he mule? Do we scan? Do we hold on? DCs are rolling in. Ooh, very quick scan here by ByuN. Again, he had one scan available here at the natural. If he had muled, if we had waited a little bit longer, then there would not have been a scan, and that would have been disastrous. But ByuN notices. Whew. Does notice, does respond. That was his only scan, by the way. Second DT arrives. The turret is on the way. We still need a little bit more time for a scan here, and this is getting out of hand. All the Marines are going down. The turret is going to be delayed. Oh, can we finish it? Can we finish? We have a scan. There we go. It does barely finish in time. Mash repair on the rack, on the turret. And with that, ByuN holds. ByuN does hold on. At the same time, across the map, it looks like we were able to get 4 probe kills. Not bad at all. So nice counter damage being dealt here by ByuN. ByuN, he also saves one of the winter mines. Did lose the other. As was actually 3 mines across the map. And with that, ByuN holds, he defends, and now he can look to move out with his upgrades. Just wrapping up stim, combat shields, +1. Still, of course, just waiting for his upgrades. Once they kick in, then we can move out. At the same time, ByuN, he does go for another drop across the map, killing 1 probe. 1 probe goes down. Geralt getting up to 3-base saturation, staying on a very low gas count, warping in mainly zealots. And ByuN is waiting for his medevacs. Once they pop out, then we can start to push. Just waiting for said medevacs. ByuN, he will scout the third. Boosting to the natural. Reacting in time. And ByuN is breaking out. It is now go time. +1 is going to finish up in a couple of seconds. We go stim, we go combat shields. So we get some more mine harass here into the bases. That doesn't make it home. And instead of ByuN going for a main frontal assault, he's going for a split push here. So double jump towards the main base. You have the main army here in the center. Third CC gets run down, so ByuN is not going for a 2-base all-in. ByuN is quite committed. Still quite committed. Jumps into the main base, catching at the pylon. Depowering gateways. Not bad. Yeah, looted anti-air gets 3 pylons, and the medevacs take it away. Again, limited gas income because of that, limited soakers. ByuN can really pick up and move out. let's push. Pushing to the center. That's a little bit of win. 6. Yeah, 6 mines is set up. Not going to be easy for the Zealots to engage here. As Wood Mines are repositioning. Show us some mine shots. Ooh. Get brutal connections. We drag one of the mines, but the rest of the Zealots, they just go down. Yeah, they just melt here before the Pyro army. We stim and we win as we can hold on. 0 splash damage and just not enough charge lots. We're warping in 7 more Zealots to get focused down as they're warping in. GG gets called and ByuN takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG well played. Again, ByuN, he was able to build up back at home, defend well enough against the Dark Templar, against the harassment, build up into his eventual move out with his upgrades, his timing, stim, combat shields +1, and his medevacs as well. When it came to Geralt's defense, unfortunately, he did need more damage to be dealt by the Dark Templar. And the other thing, the other big factor, of course, is that he was intentionally staying on a low gas count to avoid any tech, to avoid splash damage, which did make it a little bit more difficult to defend against that initial timing. We saw a lot of Zealots and Zealots that can do well for themselves, but we need to overwhelm, right? We need to overwhelm with charge lots and surround and lock them down to make sure they cannot kite away. That's not the case here. GG. GG well played. Solid move out there from ByuN as we load into game number 2. Going to be loading into Defender's Lab. Okay. Going to be loading into a bit of a more defensive map of the map pool, longer rush distance by grounds. This map typically should be favoring mid-game play, but I'll be honest, I haven't really seen too much mid-game on Defender's Lab. Let's go though. Let's go. Let us jump on in. And spawning in the bottom hand corner of Defender's Lab, we have the South Korean Terran player. Oh. South Korean Terran. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify, leading the series 1-0. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss, representing Streamer Zone. It is Geralt. Let's go. So for now, we are going to be opening up. Again, welcome to Defender's Lab. Larger map, longer rush distance by ground, more defendable natural, 3rd and 4th expansion. As we do often say, though, there is an area here outside of the natural that is a little bit more accessible, that is more abusable, and that may come into play when it comes to run-bys, counterattacks, or aggressive rotations. That's something to bear in mind. Otherwise, the other big feature, of course, is we do have rocks all over the place, creating choke points, walling off the center of the map. It does allow for, again, a more secure defensive setup here, but we also have speed zones to counteract that, which I appreciate. These speed zones, they typically do favor rotations, aggressive rotations, so you can push in towards this angle here towards the natural, you can back off, you can rotate through the speed zones and head over towards the 4th or towards the 5th base and rotate back and forth. Typically this does favor the aggressing player, but we'll see. We'll see if we can get there. We'll see if we can get that far. Likewise, eyes are on Geralt to see how he compares to ByuN currently. As I mentioned previously, Geralt has been very out of shape and very out of practice as of late, just focusing on other aspects of his life. I know that Geralt, he does have, it just doesn't work at a law firm, but he does have, you know, other aspects outside of just purely pro gaming that he does fixate on. Other projects as well. So he hasn't embraced as much StarCraft as of late, but great to see him back nonetheless. Great to see. Quack, silence, quack. Any of this. As this time ByuN is not going for the Marauder. Okay, so no early tech lab, just going for reactor marine production into 1-1-1 into a 1-1-1 setup. No early Marauders, no early stim. Not this time. This time a much more standard opener, much more standard build. Calming down. From here, we should soon be getting into our tech of choice. Right, there we go. Twilight Council into Blink. 2 more gates get thrown down, so 3 gate Blink. Safe build here by Geralt. From here, Geralt can either throw down a Robo or just expand, depending on whether or not he wants to be safe or more greedy. Hallucination confirms on 1-1. Gets out in the add-ons. Geralt, he did not see the add-ons one. So still a little bit unawares. Wait, how many gateways are being thrown down? Wait, what? 3 gates are on the way. 1's already done. We're going into 4-gate Blink Stalker here. Geralt, I'm a little bit confused. We're going 4-gate Blink, but there's no Robo. So there's no Prism across the map to harass and to warp in. Here we go, drop into the natural. Denying mining. No major damage yet, but again, it's denying mining at least. Doesn't waste the Widow White shot. Ideally, he wants to spend the shot on a Stalker. Ooh, catching out 1 probe. Picks up and pulls away. So 2 probe kills. Nothing major here, just some lighter damage from ByuN as he pulls away. And again, without a Robo, I don't really see Geralt counterattacking. He's stuck at home, he's stuck defending. And ByuN can build up. So with that, ByuN is building up on 2 bases. Stim's on the way, +1. Eventually, combat shields. We have Geralt being somewhat active on the map, but again, there's no Prism, there's no way to reinforce. So a bit of an odd build here by Geralt. A little bit odd. So we are moving in. 2 probes at the natural. Drops into the main base. Once again, no major damage though. Thankfully, there is a battery in position. Despite that, still going to get a couple of probes. Oh my god. Still 4 probes going down. Barely not getting a 5th. Despite that, nice damage. And once again, Geralt, he is going to be going Blink in towards Charge with a bit of a lower gas count. Compared to the last game though, he does have 1 extra gas geyser with the natural, so he has a little bit of extra gas income. Oh, and we see why he's going for a faster bay. Faster bay, faster splash damage. This should be a more robust mid-game hit for Geralt. Remember last game, Geralt, he did invest quite heavily into Dark Shrine, which is one of the reasons why he had such limited tech and limited cast available to him. He's going for DTs. ByuN does keep harassing. Again, nothing major, just a couple of probes here and there, 1-2 workers. At the same time, back at home, ByuN throws in a 3rd CC, so we're building up into a longer mid-game. We're getting there. The mid game. ByuN does break out. Behind this, ByuN is posturing. Geralt, he's getting a faster disruptor. Interesting. So Colossus into disruptor. Alas, Geralt's out of position. He will lose the 4th. Just try to engage. Ooh, into the mine shot. So the RV clumps. One of the tanks are on siege. ByuN gets caught out, and ByuN is forced to lift. Yeah, mess engage there from ByuN. It's a very nice wouldn't mind connections, but one of his tanks was caught unsieged. At the same time, drop it to the natural. Will cause a recall. And Geralt is holding. He's keeping up, he's holding on, takes down one of the medevacs. ByuN moving back in, he gets spotted. ByuN, I'm sure he wants that 4th expansion. And once again, Geralt, he is not quite in position here. He recalled everything to the natural. To be cancelled. At the same time, does catch some reinforcements. Some decent mine connections. Base is left alone with collapsing of the Colossus. Oh no, we're exposed now! Yeah, the army's exposed here. The Colossus barely gets away, but a messy rotation here from Geralt. Very messy. The base somehow survives, but Geralt, he barely has a standing army, down to 1 Colossus and a handful of gateway units. And ByuN just wants to keep pushing. Just wants to keep breaking out. Behind this, 3rd base getting up fully operational. ByuN has momentum, has a greater economy. Up in SCVs plus mules. Oof. And again, ByuN has too much. Takes down the final Colossus. Colossus goes down. We have a backup Colossi on the way. But there are just so many Marauders. Again, they're built to tank. He stays in, Bat. He stays in. Doesn't quite chase him down. Well, takes down the expansion anyway. That's all he wanted. Claims the 4th base. Dives on the Colossus. Again, low in HP. And with that, ByuN snowballs out of control. Initially, Geralt, he was doing a decent job when it came to keeping up with the aggression, but only up until a certain point. So GG, well played, and ByuN takes game number 2. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, I was definitely impressed by Geralt initially here, where he was able to keep up with the multi-pronged aggression. But when Geralt started using recalls, I mean, then he was quite limited in where he was. Of course, he did not leave an army in position at the 4th base location. He was just torn apart, and we saw just a very messy defense out of Geralt, forcing mistakes, or ByuN forced mistakes out of Geralt, just as he was frantically trying to rotate between the bases. And GG. GG, well played. With that, ByuN, he'll claim game number 2, and now we're going to be loading into At Eternity's Edge, the 3rd game in the series. I'm hoping for a back and forth here, but again, it's been a bit of a rougher time here for Geralt. ByuN's been very active, very aggressive, different builds in both games, to be fair, but still very, very active. And I'm sure that trend will continue here. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of At Eternity's Edge, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Geralt. Go. And welcome to At Eternity's Edge. This is a bit of a larger map in the map pool. I believe it has a longer rush distance compared to Defender's Lab. But it has its own unique features, of course. We do have a nice little pocket area here inside of both main bases. This can be used to hide tech. It can be used to hide an aggressive drop, night display, for example. There's definitely different shenanigans you can go for here with the hidden area inside of each other's main. Likewise, we have our natural base, which is more standard. We have the entrance to the natural further out when it comes to the ramp itself, and we have a secure 3 and 4 base setup, potentially. We do have 2 different routes you can take when it comes to expanding. You can expand on the low ground, which can lead towards the gold, but these low ground expansions and bases are much more exposed, or you can expand on the high ground and push towards the high yield gas geyser base instead. Typically what we expect here in TVP is for Protoss players to take the low ground bases to eventually claim the gold. That does benefit Protoss heavily in this matchup, specifically when it comes to Mass Zealot. So you have seen Protoss players kind of move in that direction and take advantage of that. On the flip side, if the Terran player is forced to be contained, they can contain quite well here on 4 bases with extra resources, extra gas income. We have seen some mid to late game here on At Eternity's Edge. I still mean like 2 games maybe. Let's go. But now Twilight Council opener out of Geralt. Reaper does fake in. But again, no major damage. Again, we're expecting Twilight Council to blink. Technically, this could be a Dark Shrine, but we already saw that in Game 1, and often you don't want to rely on that multiple times in the series. If this was a smaller map, then you can justify going for a charge base opener, but otherwise it should be blink. Likewise, ByuN once again going for its own 1-1-1. No fast marauders, no tech lab, no faster CC. Calming things down. As ByuN just pokes in. Didn't go into a big commitment into Reaper Hellion, just 2 Reapers, 1 Hellion just having a small presence on the map, followed by his own drop. Okay, interesting. I'm going for a double Widowmine drop. Single even. Oh, there we go. I was curious where the other Widowmine was. Moving up with his job. Meanwhile, safe play out of Geralt, going 3 Gate Blink into a Red. Remember last game was 4 Gate Blink, which was a little bit more unorthodox out of Geralt, considering how passive or defensive he was being. Oh. Hydra comes in, and Geralt should react in time. Oh, Jesus. Oh, the retargeting. Yeah, big delay on the mine shot. Meanwhile, second Widowmine into the main. Geralt, he does react in time. Ooh, and we don't get any probe kills, but we do get a sentry. So 1 probe with a natural, 1 sentry in the main base. Somewhat of a trade, and behind this, I don't know if you noticed, but for a moment ByuN did begin Hyperfly Rotors instead of opting to go for Liberators. Does go for a Liberator follow-up. Reaper Hellion unable to deny the expansion, but will pick up a probe. Let's find some value. Pulling away. Geralt, he does gain map control. But we're still waiting for ByuN's eventual move out. Now, no surprises here, as we mentioned at the beginning. Geralt, he is expanding here on the low ground, expanding away from ByuN. These bases are a lot more exposed. And we'll see how ByuN does move out. Whether he does hit the 3rd expansion or whether he just pushes straight into the natural. Let's go. ByuN is moving out. As he moves out, Geralt, he's aware of this. Geralt, he had to control the Zelnaga tower, so he does spot the push. Hermes getting ready. Charge is not done. Oh yeah, charge is not yet done. And if you remember, we saw this last night from Clement Cure. This is an early, almost anti-timing. Basically, this is hitting no stim. Like stim, combat shields, all the upgrades are still on the way, but that's why this hits so hard. It's very early. Punching the Stalkers. Within range of the Nexus. Yo, trying to come in from behind. Oh, and the base may just go down. Massive pick of charge is going to finish up towards the end here. But cannot save the base. Yeah, the 3rd goes down. Geralt, he had to engage earlier on. And ByuN is satisfied. Just pulls away. Kills the 3rd, backs off. At this point, he can wait for his upgrades. Everything here is finishing up in a couple of seconds. And Geralt, he's behind. Straight up. He's miles behind here. Oh, does blink in. Blinks in. There he goes up. It's a good connection. Very nice. And connection to the tank. Collapsing on the bio. But it's still not enough. ByuN is stemming forward. Yeah, he sims in, he's breaking through the main army. There is a Colossus on the way and that will help, but there's still just such a massive bio army to work with. Oof. And Manchil's going off and no more zealots. He sims on in. No, he depowers the Rosa. Yeah, the Colossus was the one chance that Geralt had. GG gets called, and ByuN, he will claim the series 3-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. ByuN, he will claim the series. Again, Geralt, he was looking a little bit more rough around the edges here when it came to the overall builds that we saw, and likewise a little bit out of the meta when it comes to some of these earlier attacks. This move out that ByuN went for has been very popular as of late. If you're watching GSL last night, both Clem and Cure went for these builds against Clem and against Classic respectively. And again, it's a weird, like, it's a really offbeat timing here when you move out across the map before your upgrades kick in, but you have your tanks at least available, and it does hit pre-charge. It does often hit when Protoss players are very unaware and unfamiliar. We saw it happen twice on Winter Madness, if you recall, and it hit very hard, and both times the third base was broken. GG, well played. And with that, ByuN, he will advance on. With that, so we're getting ready here for our next series. It's going to be another TVP featuring some of the other maps here. Ooh, it's been a while. I do appreciate that we get to see it here. It is going to be on Sanctuary 3, Percival versus Shameless. Let's go. Let us go. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Sanctuary 3, we have the South Green Terran player, we have the Blue Terran. It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss player himself representing Stanley Bulls. It is a Shameless. Let's go. Let us go. As we are going to be settling into game number 1 here, once again on a fresh TLMC22 map. When it comes to Sanctuary 3, this does have some unique features, of course. Does have the slow zones in the center. Likewise, does have a bit of a more exposed third expansion with a very direct path across the map, but that's why we have the slow zones. That's why we have these destructible rocks. You can knock down these rocks and fully wall this area off as well, just to try to force some longer and later games. Whether or not we do, though, we'll see. Percival, he is often a very aggressive player. Yes, ByuN was able to stop Geralt from really embracing the mid-game in his series, but Percival is often a lot more aggressive, often going for all-ins. ByuN in his matchup in his series, he was often getting a third CC, still winning the game earlier on, but was building up into something more greater, into something more macro-oriented. Percival often just pulls the boys, he sends it across the map, and we're expecting a bit of a shorter series here between Percival and Shameless. But we'll see. We shall see. Likewise, unlike Geralt, Shameless has been a little more active as of late, has been improving quite heavily over time, of course, over the past year, over the past 2 years. It's amazing to see the growth of Shameless. Yeah. Shameless is able to expand. Again, just going to be delayed. Ideally, Percival, he was hoping to force the unnatural natural, but Shameless to make the early zealots and will be able to expand. Oh, hello. We're back at home. We do see the high ground CC of a 1 gas opener. Bienvenidos. Gracias, gracias. Thank you so much. Thanks so much in the chat to Solensvide. Thank you so much for subscribing for 13 months. 13 months. Gracias, gracias. Over a year of support. Thank you. Esta Solensvide. See Pashka in the chat. Do you know why Skillus lost a lot of league places recently? Is he not playing actively anymore? Or Skillus has been very inactive as of late. He took a big break from the game, so I mean a decent chunk of players have been a little bit more inactive, but yeah, I would imagine that's why. Skills, he doesn't really play in many open tournaments. I want to say he recently played in, I want to say like this week's Monday Night Weekly and War DCB Monday. Like I think this week he started playing in some tournaments again, but specifically this year he's been a lot more inactive. Still playing, but just only every now and then, so does not play often. For example, Shameless, our Protoss player here, is straight up much more active compared to Skillus. Same with like Cristiano, Shameless, Geralt. They play in a lot more tournaments. As it does catch a couple of units here at the same time. Shameless, it does fight back. Oh, big Marines, nice pickups. Nice pickups here out of Shameless. And Percival, he's going to be forced back. Again, ideally, he wanted to move out across the map and set up his tank within range of the third base, but that is not going to be the case here. Going to be zoned away. I think there was a tournament recently where did Shameless beat Skillus? Maybe. But Shameless, he has been improving a lot in recent months. I mean, over the past 2 years. I would say that Shameless, he hasn't broken into the top 5 Protoss yet, but I think I might favor Shameless over like Hearthstone, for example. It's hard to say. Hearthstone is kind of like Skillus, where Hearthstone doesn't really play much. But obviously he's making like, you know, YouTube videos and things of that nature instead. But who was it that Shameless beat recently? He beat Hero, he beat ByuN, and Classic, I want to say. That was maybe 2 weeks ago. Like he went on a tear and beat them all in 1 week. It was insane. That's the Shameless. I believe he beat them in Monday Night Weekly. That was like maybe 2 weeks ago. Now Shameless diving in and do we deny the upgrade? Oh, with 3 seconds away, and combat shields is going to be denied. Nice pickup, but bearing in mind Sim is now done, and we're going for a bit of a base trade. Percival is across the map at the same time. Shameless knocking down upgrades. They were just about to finish up. Very nice. Yeah, there's that recall back home. Does recall. Could he save the expansion? As Percival does step in. Yeah, bust into the mineral line. Massive damage here. 11, 12, 13. Oh my god, almost every single probe goes down, but we save the expansion. Third base is barely saved, but we'll lose the mineral line. Ay. Shameless, he is holding on. Likewise, Percival, he commits. Bearing in mind that this army is weaker for Percival, as he is missing combat shields and concussive shell. At least he has 10. Percival coming in from behind, catching out the stalkers. Nice round. Yeah, collapsing of the army here, and Shameless, he gets caught out. Shameless overextends. Ooh. Trying to force some friendly fire. And does Percival have enough? Does get an Immortal. Immortal goes down. Can he get the other? Looks like he barely can. Just barely. We're getting messy. We're getting rowdy. 2 Immortals going down for Shameless. Did lose his mineral line. At the same time, Percival, he was dedicated on 2 bases, just now getting his own 3rd CC up and running. He's getting his 3rd. That was one of the other features added to this map, is the patch here covering the the forward expansion. Just a delay. So wouldn't mind say waddle in. Oh no! Oh Jesus. Seamus does barely react in time. And Percival's not stopping. He's not stopping. He's going to keep on pushing. He's breaking out. Oh. Percival likewise striking the army into minefields. Not bad. Does move in at the same time. Seamus does go for the backstab as well. Okay, we're getting rowdy. Percival, he will defend in the main at the same time. He does hit the third base once again, forcing a recall. Not too big of a commitment here from Percival, though. And that's going to be 9 SCV kills. Ooh, I say 9, getting it to 10, 11, 12. 12 SCVs, almost up to 13. 12 SCVs go down, and critical damage in the main. But it has been that back and forth. Seamus getting some momentum. The big thing that we're missing here for Seamus, which I'm concerned by here, are due to lack of gas, is lack of splash damage. Whether it's Colossus, whether it's Storm, there is no splash damage here for Seamus. He's very gateway heavy. Trying to move out across the map. Trying to overwhelm. Another warping into the main base. Once again, he gets into the mineral line. And Percival cannot keep up. He can't keep up, Happy. And another 4 CV kills. At the same time, Percival once again does go for his own backstab as well. Ah, no. They're just like each other, Pappy. They're both animals. And that's going to be 5 probe kills against 9 CVs across the map, and Percival pushes. He breaks out, he's pushing across the map as well. With what little he has. Nice focus firing, getting it to 8 probes. Percival moving in, but this time Seamus is ready. This time our Protoss player is in position. Army stims in. Seamus he punishes, picks up a medevac. Very nice. Getting 1, getting 2 medevacs. Marauders, I believe the first Colossus has arrived. No, yeah, still on the way. Still on the way. There's soon to be 1. First we rotate towards the right, fully saturated 4th base. Going for a double jump on the left. And we'll see if Seamus can split up his army in time. Taking Mind Shield to the face. Brutal. First does force to cancel. His main army is here on the right hand side at the 4th. And here comes the raindrop. Does move to the 3rd. And Seamus is being pulled apart. Yeah, he's being torn apart here. Drops it moving in. Seamus, he just doesn't have the supply to defend multiple locations at once. He doesn't have the supply. Doesn't have the economy. 12 more probe kills. And you can see that translating into a larger army for Percival. Where Percival, he has momentum, he has a better economy, he's got mules, he's got SCVs. Yeah, much stronger economy here. Ay, ay, ay. And Percival now is going for the kill. You can see him bring everything together. Up until this point, it's been nothing but split pushes. But now Percival does consolidate. He wants a Colossus. Vikings, they move in. He stims. Yeah, stims in from behind as well. Not quite able to get on top of the Colossus. Barely not. But again, he's so close. 2 volleys. Up. 2 more. And not quite able to chase. But again, nice cutting here against the Zealots. Vikings, they are landing. And Percival is breaking through. Got a couple of Colossus trickling in. Vikings are going down. Okay. Running out of Vikings. Sheamus is holding. He's holding on. Oof. At least trying to. But again, now there's no buffer, no zealots. Sheamus almost broken. You know, shout to the upgrades. Wait. Sheamus, he's barely holding on. Does spot the rotation with the observer. Once again, trying to keep up. And Percival from here is just getting further ahead. He's able to build up and rebuild his Viking counts, getting his own 4th expansion. Ideally, Sheamus needs to be up a base here to keep up with the Terran. That's just not happening, not after the aggressive and chaotic mid-game. Not after losing so many probes. Dark Templar, they have potential for sure, but at this stage of the game, there should be scans available, right? There's going to be more orbitals, more CCs, more scans. We have EMPs. EMP lands. Oh my god. Yeah, brutal connection. First Colossus goes down. Denies a prism. Takes down almost another Colossus. Gazito. Yeah, Sheamus barely does keep it alive. Percival dropping once again. Sheamus moving in. He does move in. He barely does not get a kill on that CC. So close. Yeah, so close to Sheamus. Is distracted. We'll lose another mineral line. War Prism as well. Nice control out of Percival. Again, pulling Sheamus apart. And the army's left idle. Yeah, the army's left idle in the center. 17 probe kills. Critical damage. Ay, ay, ay. And these drops have been so annoying. And usually Sheamus has been able to counterattack, but we just saw Sheamus lose his War Prism twice. The Prism went down twice in a row here, and as a result, he cannot move out across the map, he cannot harass. Cannot try to punish in the same way. And Percival's going to be the first to max. The first to max out. Isn't Percival up the base now? Sheamus up the base now. The base doesn't matter if the worker count isn't able to be up there to actually saturate the bases. So Percival has the stronger economy. He's had the stronger economy for quite some time. He's got no probes, Pat. He's got no probes. Percival's just going to keep on pushing and overwhelm. At the same time, Prism finally gets across the map. That's the 3rd warp hit. He gets in. Massive warp hit into the main. He's going to force Percival back home. Yeah, everything turns around. And this will distract. Yeah, distracting Percival. Zealots into the 3rd. SCV is finally going to be going down. Nice damage here by Shameless. But at the same time, Percival gets in. No, he gets in. Yeah, it does bypass the army, and Sheamus, he just has to counterattack. He's just forced into a base trade. Sheamus loses 4th. At the same time, pushing into the 3rd. Oh, they're Liberators to defend. Yeah, Liberation has arrived. The reinforcements as well. Does a nice mining at least. And still killing some SCVs. I don't know if he can break through all these Liberators, though. He has to try. I mean, what else can he do? The APs are brutal. He does blink in. We'll lose all the Colossus. Yeah, 0 Colossus remaining. does break through the Vikings, getting top some of the ghosts. At the same time, Percival is still across the map, still knocking down bases. And we just gotta keep going. Keep going, Pat. Oh my god. As more liberations arrive, they one-shot the Stalkers. GG gets scored. GG gets scored. Shameless does not have enough, and Percival will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Percival, he will take a lead in the series. Again, a very intense, a very chaotic game, very back and forth, of course. Shameless, unfortunately, never really had the economic lead he wanted. It was very chaotic, and every time that Shameless got across the map to kill some SCVs, it was also losing probes as well, right? It was tit for tat here, and in the end, Shameless, he had the worst economy for longer. It took him a long time to build up his bases, and again, he never really got to saturate, never got to build up his workers. GG. GG, well played. With that, Percival takes the lead. Does take a lead here, and we're going to be loading into game 2 into at Attorney's Edge. Let's go. We'll be loading into game 2 here, and again, a very chaotic back and forth. We'll see if Shameless can keep up with that pace here from Percival. There were a couple of key moments for Shameless, denying combat shields, denying a concussive shell as well. There were some very, very nice moments, but in the end, I had a harder time. I mean, I say maintaining the economy, really maintaining map control, map awareness, and keeping up with the drop play of Percival. Let's go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of at Attorney's Edge, we have the South Green Terran player. We have the Blue Terran leading the series 1-0. It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Red Protoss player representing Stally Balls. It is Shameless. Go. As our players are going to be opening up. And we do have a double gas opener. Okay, so double gas out of Percival, going for a faster factory, going for a delayed CC. At the same time, once again, welcome to at Attorney's Edge. This does have some unique features when it comes to how we expand. I do favor Protoss on this map if we do end up in a longer and later game, but as I mentioned regarding Percival, he's a very aggressive player. I mean, you saw it last game. Didn't go for all-ins, but was still very in the face of Shameless, and we expect more of the same, if not just straight up all-ins here on at Attorney's Edge. To make sure that Shameless doesn't stabilize, doesn't get complacent, doesn't build up his 4 bases. On Percival to make sure that doesn't happen. Shameless, when it comes to his playstyle in PvT, he's very mid-game and mid to late game oriented. He's not really one that cheeses things up too much and goes for, say, a proxy gateway or proxy Stargate or Stargate opener or Robo opener. We're expecting 3-gate blink out of Shameless. Nothing too wild. Percival does cap for proxies, making sure everything's on the up and up. Oh, hello. Okay. We spoke earlier how we do have a nice little pocket area here in both main bases where you can try to, let's say, hide a warp prism warp in or unload a drop. Percival just getting vision. Once again, still scouting, and behind this, he does go for a Reactor Reaper Hellion. Okay, a big investment here by Percival. Going into this, Percival, his goal here is for economic damage. It's a big investment into Reaper Hellion. This does not scale well into the mid game. They also kill probes. The station does spot the move out. Shameless, he knows. And the Shameless getting in position. We have 1 battery in the main. We have a battery here at the natural. So far so good. Let's got his batteries. First we go to the dive. First we dives in. Nice pick up here on one of the Reapers. Almost 2 Reapers going down. Ooh. He's able to one-shot a probe. Yeah, 1, 2 probes going down despite the battery. But we shouldn't get much more than that. So we go 2 probe kills for 2 Reapers. And a Hellion as well. A better trade for Shameless. A better trade, a better defense. Shameless claiming his 3rd. Save his base. And mine's just going up. Oh, going for the sentry. Not bad. Catching a sentry, catching out. Oh, just the 1 sentry though. Doesn't get a 2nd shot off. Behind this, we have our eventual 3-1-1 setup. Nothing crazy out of Percival. And now we're calming down. From here, we're calming down. Shameless prioritizing charge, going for later splash damage. Again, it was heavily delayed last game, and we're hoping to see a little bit faster this time. Hopefully. Shameless is containing. Oh, nice control. Gets 1, 2, 3 Marines. 3 Marines go down. We went over to the main base. Liberator in towards the natural. So far, Shameless, he's reacting. Oh, I was going to say he's reacting well, but that's 3 probes in the main. Yeah, that should not have happened. Late reaction here at the natural base, and we're just getting pulled apart. Shameless getting pulled apart here. 8 probes going down. Critical damage. Ay, ay, ay. Shameless is doing so well. Not anymore. Liberator still alive. Medevac gets out. And Percival, he'll soon push. He's still just waiting, of course, for Stim. Waiting for Stim. Waiting for the upgrades. As Percival, he does not go for the main push. Sticking out with his drop and gets a 3rd CC. Okay. Again, I was under the assumption that Percival was going to go or be more aggressive here, but no, claiming a 3rd base. Building up to the mid game. I mean, Percival does have a nice lead, or he was able to deal some nice damage across the map. And we'll see if we can keep that up. And Liberator does reposition. Catching out another 1, 2, 3 probes. 4, 5? Oh, good. There we go. 5 probes going down. Percival breaks out. Tanks, they do siege up in time. Oof. Yeah, massive mine shots. Sorgs, they blink in. Shameless, he should clean this up. And he will. Yeah, he will get on top of the tanks. Nice clean up by the Shameless. Massive warping into the main. Back at home, Percival didn't have much in position. SUVs are going down. And we commit. Oh, let's go. Yeah, Shameless, he commits across the map as well. Distracting Percival. His supply here in drops. And he's dropping into the main base at the same time. Shameless, he breaks a natural. He busts into the mineral line, and SUVs are going down left and right. Critical damage being dealt. Yeah, Percival not quite in position. He now gets back home. And Percival, he will defend the main, but that's still 17 SCV kills. That's still insane damage. Oof. 17 SCVs, drop is dealt with. Shameless, he's now happily mining on 4 bases. It's really mining. And Percival, he falls far behind. Now, at least Percival has a 3rd CC, but trying to macro out of this, it's not going to be easy. Not like this. Seamus is going for a double forge, double upgrades into the bay as well. This is a little bit greedy here, but I mean, Seamus knows that he has a massive lead. One chance Percival has is to push. Moving out through the center. Seamus once again does counterattack. Once again just walks into the natural. Or at least tries to. And Celtic getting caught up. A messy engage here from Seamus. It's getting messy. It's catching a medevacs. 6 SCV kills, nothing major, but still pickoffs nonetheless. No, sure, Percival going to try to expand. Okay. I mean, Percival does have a comparable main army to Seamus, that is true, but I mean, the soup is lying to you in that sense. We have 1-1 on the way. It's about to finish up. Colossus are amassing as well. Once we start incorporating some more splash damage, once the initial 4 and then 5 base setup kicks in, Percival, he shouldn't be able to keep up here. There's a window. There's a window that's closing. And Percival, he knows he needs to be active, but it's easier said than done. One moves in. Seamus ready, diving on the Marauders, massive pickoffs. Yeah, this was a messy engage here from Seamus, but I mean, he still has a greater economy. He can afford it. He can afford the messy fights, clashing on more reinforcing Marauders. GG, Seamus. He ties up the series. We have a back and forth. Let's go. GG, as Seamus does fight back again. We once again had a bit of an intense back and forth here initially between Percival and Seamus, but of course we saw that Seamus, he was able to counterattack, able to get across the map. At the time, the reason why it did so much damage is because Percival, he had 3 or if not 4 drops out on the map, so most of his army was being active, not at home to defend. He was caught with his pants down. The pants were down. Percival, he was punished for being overly aggressive, for missing the army rotation, the army movement of Seamus. GG, well played. With that, we have a tied up series here. We're going to be loading into game number 3. Going to be loading into Lockdown. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Lockdown, we have the blue Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran being forced into a tied series. Can they bring it back? It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player representing Stony Balls. It is Shameless. We go. In the bottom hand corner. Just catching up. But we are getting into Lockdown. Lockdown, of course, has some unique features here. First things first, we have a very secure 2-base setup here. We have a ram coming into the naturals, so very difficult to push into. Likewise, we have a high ground 3rd expansion as well. I would say that your initial 3 bases are relatively secure. The 4th base is where you start to expose yourself and start to spread yourself a little bit more thin. Likewise, we have some speed zones in the center that also help with aggressive rotations. And based on the expansion pattern here, I'm curious to see if we do end up going into a longer and later game. I feel like obviously Percival does want to avoid that at all costs, but we'll see if he can. One of the things about expanding on this map, if you take the high ground 3rd, is you can push forward, take the high ground 4th base, and then use that as a launch pad to push into your opponent's bases. But we haven't really seen many, if not any, game last that long. Not on Lockdown. Now, economic opener out of Percival. We have seen him mix things up so far in the series. Last game he did open up Reacted Reaper Hellion. I would say there's less of a chance of that working here just because of the defensive setup. We should be going for either a greedier build or Maybe something more tech heavy like Banshee play. We'll see. That's never calming down. Checking posted locations. Likewise from Shameless, we're just expecting a Twilight Council into Blink. Oh no, okay. For the first time this series, Stargate opener out of Shameless. You have my attention. I did mention earlier that Shameless is quite rare to see him mix things up, but he is mixing things up here in Game 3. So with the initial Stargate opener, we can go Oracle first. We can go Oracle first to deal some harassing damage across the map, catch the Terran player off guard, and take a lead early on. Or we can slowly start to already build up the Phoenix counts. Build up those Phoenixes. And eventually take map control away from the Terran. Phoenix Colossus used to be the go-to many years ago. At this stage though, it's a little bit more common to go Phoenix into charge instead, into a mass zealot composition. And now here comes our first Oracle. And so far Percival is yet to scout. Percival, he's unawares. Behind this, going for a committed mine drop, not just 2, but going up to 4 with the mines. The quad mine drop, which is very out of favor nowadays. If you're cool before the wood mine nerfs, this was a lot more common. A lot more common. Here comes our mine drop, making its way across the map. Now what's scary about this mine drop is that once it starts to unload, Shameless doesn't really know how many Widow mines are inside. Doesn't know how seriously to take it. Meanwhile, there's going to be 4 or 5 SCV kills. Nice damage up with the Oracle. Mine drop comes in. Oh, there's 1. Still 3 left. Second, third, and fourth, all 3 in the main. And what's the reaction? No, the reaction! Oh my god, Shameless is distracted. 20 probes going down. Shameless. Yeah, he's fixated across the map. He does kill SCVs, that is true, but that is still 20 worker kills. Ay, ay, ay. We're getting messy. We're getting very, very messy here because that's still 13 SCVs across the map. This one Oracle has gotten out of hand. Finally does go down, but that is still critical damage. 13 SCVs against the 20 probe kills across the map as well. Okay, where are we? Aye, worker counts are knocked down to, I mean, almost neck and neck. 29 to 28. Mine drops, they continue. The dual time to continue. Bar handles 1. Tries to escape with the other. Nice mine shot. And looks like Shameless does notice. It does notice there's still 1 Widow mine in the main. Doesn't come in too soon. As we're recovering here so far, Percival, I mean, he does have that mule advantage. With the 3rd Nexus, Shameless can eventually recover, but the aggression isn't done. And Percival dropping into the main base, catching out the Phoenix, massive pickup, takes down the Phoenix, goes into the mineral line. And shouldn't deny Blink. Should not deny. Once again, nice target firing. Gets all the 2 probes. The mule. Feels bad, man. It happens, Pappy. It happens. Smooth. But Shameless is just being torn apart. Again, he just cannot keep up here. Both tanks get within range. They siege up. Within range of the Nexus. Shameless, he has to blink in. He goes to the knife. He gets 1. He gets 2. Will cost him a massive chunk of Stalkers though. Oof. That's 3 Stalkers surviving. That's not going to be good enough. Army Sims in, takes out the 3rd. And again, Seamus just cannot keep up. Not after the earlier losses, not after losing 20 probes. He tried, but he could not. And then again, things got messy, but GG gets called, and Percival will take a 2-1 lead in the series. So GG. Whew. And GG, well played, does tie the series up here. Again, Seamus, he was able to do his own counter damage as well. 13 SCV kills, that is true, but it was not good enough. He still fell behind. He still barely had an economy. He had to try to keep up. He didn't have the supply to work with to defend multiple locations at once. And in the end, GG. GG, well played. Whew. Percival, he was able to overwhelm and claim a lead in the series. And we'll see if Seamus will close it out, or will tie things up here and now, or if Percival will close it out. Let's go. So we're loading into Rainfall. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Rainfall, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran leading the series 2-1, and 1 game away from claiming the series. It is Percival. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player representing Stowny Balls. It is a Shameless. We go. Once again, welcome to Rainfall. Rainfall is a much smaller map than the map, smaller map, shorter rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored on this map. Now, what I will say, despite Percival's reputation, he has been aggressive, don't get me wrong. He's been very, very aggressive, but we haven't seen any 2-base all-ins, at least not yet. Not yet, none this series. A little bit surprised by that fact, as Percival does come in for the eBay block. He's going to try to force the unnatural natural, which will leave Shameless vulnerable to an all-in. True. Leave him vulnerable. As Shameless, he does not want to expand elsewhere. He does chrono out his first Zealot. So Zealot's on the way, Probe is tasting away at the eBay as well. And Shameless will eventually expand, but it's going to be a delayed Nexus here for Shameless. As Shameless is banking resources. Forced to spend his money to warp in. Oh, and Percival going for the early concussive shell. This is an interesting choice here. So the way this works is that ideally Percival wants to punish Shameless for being aggressive, and we'll see if he does prompt aggression out of Shameless. We'll see. Once again, another Stargate opener out of Shameless. Okay, 2 games in a row. And again, the Oracle did do a good amount of damage. It's just that there was nothing at home to defend. It's just we had minimal defenses and a shaky setup there from Shameless. We'll see if we can time that. Shameless lost one into the Marauder. Marauder just shut down the depths. A very nice catch, as already mentioned. Percival was hoping to punish the punish of Shameless. And the stim is on the way. Extra Raxes as well, going for a 3-Rax follow-up. Let's go. This is what we've been missing. A hyper-aggressive build here by Percival. Going to be hitting with stim. With the upgrades. Whereas Percival pokes in. Battery will help defend. So far so good for Shameless. Holdings defending. The Oracle does veer off towards the right hand side. Back at home, what do we have to defend? Remember, there's going to be no Cyclone due to the 3x follow-up. It's going to be Vanilla Marines. The Oracle has potential. It does hit the main. It does hit the main base. There are 3 Vanilla Marines to defend. That's not going to be enough. Yeah, not enough here. 0 mining in the main base, getting up to 4, 5, 6 SCVs. Oh, getting up to 5. Very nice damage here by Shameless. And following this, we can go into charge. And Twilight Council's on the way. The Oracle still very healthy. Still zipping into the natural. Quite break through. Oh. There you go, catching at the Marauder. Dipping into the bases. Catching more CVs, and again, the Marines just have such a hard time keeping up. Stim is available, but doesn't want to waste it. Seamus gets away. As he contains Percival, now claiming another expansion, you can see Seamus looking very comfortable here in the worker count. Percival, we got to commit. Yeah, he pulls the boys. 2 base all in. It's going to be a very wonky, a very stifled 2 base all in, but I mean, he sustains so many losses anyway. He's got to just try it. It's all we got. Yeah, it's all or nothing. Army does stim in. There's already a battery. A couple of boys are being pulled to defense. I say a couple, all the boys actually. It does pull all the boys just in case. Guess it's all the Marauders. That's going to be 20 probes going down. That's insane damage. But Seamus will defend. Seamus will clean up the army. We're down to 3 Marauders. That was still 22 probes being thrown away. That's still crazy. Oh my god. Crazy damage. And making this closer than it needs to be. Percival catching up the economy. True. Let's catch up. Fresh move goes down. So misclicks there out of Shameless. And Percival's back in this. He's back in this game. Seamus still recovering faster and making more probes faster. That is true. Percival making a game out of it. Let's see it holding his own. Ideally, Seamus wants to force out stims. Will dissuade the push. Dissuades the move out. Now Seamus building up into charge. Minimal gases. Getting up to eventually full with 3-way saturation. He's almost there. Oh, Percival still needs more time. +1 is about to finish, and soon we can push. Do we pull the boys again? That's the that's the better question. Does he send the boys? It's just no. Okay, no shot because he's saying a third CC on location. He's crazy. It's gonna be denied. Again, it's all or nothing for Percival. The Oracle does finally go down. And we're going for the Doom Drop. Nothing in the main. Seamus out of position. And Seamus racing back over. +1 armor is going to be denied. Denies the weapon as well. Very nice pickups here, catching up both pylons. It does catch the pylons. Same time, some messy trades here from Shameless. Squeeze out a little bit Zealots. Sentry's going to be focused on as well. Does focus on the sentries, and we can maybe save some of these units. Jesus, that's going to be 22 probe kills. Oh my, what the hell? Yeah, critical damage. In the end, Percival, he will lose his army at the same time, dropping on the right-hand side. Does not quite get into the mineral line. It was a little bit late. Ready to move in. But still, 28 probe kills. Not insignificant. Percival now with a larger army. Now with an overwhelming force. Does move in. Pulling Shameless apart. Lucas is now the 5th. This time Shameless, he's somewhat in position. We couldn't totally take that fight though. Percival does pull away. Like, the only real threat here with Shameless's army on the right hand side are 3 zealots. Like that's all that's really threatening. Percival, he does miss an opportunity to knock down the 4th base. Still building up his army. Again, still greater economy for Percival. Percival, he's moving out. We go drop on the right hand side. Oh, there's that recall. Does recall in time. He goes up right. And chase down the drop. Percival trying to come in. Toss it forward. I still a lot of zealots though. Charge also collapsed in. Decent mine connections. Very nice actually. I shall say pop well. Percival coming from behind. 7 probes going down. Losing a lot of workers. And Percival should be able to punish here. Once again, catching out sentries, catching out stalkers. Shameless heavy losses. Upgrades are on the horizon, +3 and +2. I mean, we do have better upgrades here for Shameless, but he still needs more time and needs breathing room. Needs time to breathe. And Shameless coming from behind. I'm trying to at least. Let's give chase. I'll say trade decently here. Also do trade, Medivacs being focused down, nice pickups, down to 2 Medivacs. Oh, down to 1. Oh, and the army will be cleaned up. Oh, Shameless is holding on at the same time, catching reinforcements as well. Percival throwing away a lot of supply actually. Being overly aggressive. Throws away supply. Percival in a bit of danger here. Trying to set up. At the same time, big shout out to Comrade in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing for 21 months. For 21 months. Gracias, papi, gracias. Do appreciate it. Este, Comrade. If you enjoy the content, the casting, the star. Gracias, gracias. Shameless has doing a great job here, just keeping up with Percival and slowly recovering, claiming a center expansion. Likewise, also get into the mineral line. Percival's distracted. 10 SCV kills. Oof. 12, 13 workers going down. That singular DT still wreaking havoc, getting just so much free damage. Oh my god. And 19, 20. 20 plus workers falling, and Percival, he's forcing himself to, he just has to commit. And he's moving out. That's still 19 workers falling. DT is still active, by the way. It's still doing damage. Uh oh. Getting full medevac. No, Percival, you're not paying attention. Full medevac goes down as well. Percival falling apart. Yeah, he's falling apart here as Zelsay busts into the mineral line. They're trying to at least. Maybe the scan eventually. There it is. As our first scan. And Percival, he is barely holding on here, but he's sustained so many economic losses. Shane was still finding more damage. There we go. Scan finally pops off. Percival, he defends. He defends against the Dark Templar, but what about the main army? As well as just the one mine shot. Yeah, one Widow mine. Massive PiGosaur here from Shameless. Very nice target firing, getting 1, 2, 3 medevacs and some Vikings. Very nice targets firing, and in the end that was 20 SCVs. Again, Percival, he had a lead. He had that economic lead, not anymore. More duck type. Ah. Too much, Bappy, too much. That's Percival, not desperate for damage. Desperate back. Jumping to the main. Percival, he reacts. Tells the EMP with the warping finishes. Uh oh. Yeah, warping does complete. Catching out Ghost. Shameless also the third. And again, this is still getting out of hand here. So many SCVs going down. Main army gets surrounded. Yeah, Percival forced a lift. He has to get out of here. That's still another 17 SCV kills. And there's also the map comes into play. We spoke about this earlier, but the map is very small. Short rushes and spike ground. Very open, low ground expansions. Oof. As Percival throws everything away. Throwing away 3 medevacs. I'm not shameless. He takes his own lead. Still no splash damage, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, finally, at the 17-minute mark, we got the first bay. The bay is coming. Finally, some splash damage as the game slows down a little bit. Shameless, he can finally just take a look back and see where he wants to go. Second robo on the bay. Now, other ways to recover this game for Percival, there would be here if he can go for some multi-pronged aggression, just like what Shameless has been doing. Even here, the aggression continues, catching reinforcements, surrounds Ghosts. Heavy losses for Percival. Heavy losses here. As well as seeing while they trade, bam, Zellarame into the natural base, warp it into the main. Oh, there's something else going on, just distracting Percival. Workers catching reinforcements. Seamus now securely has map control. Percival is stuck at home. And he is building up his limit account, which is going to be a little more ideal, that is true, but he needs more time. No. on the rotations. Is he coming in? We spoke of this previously from Seamus's perspective, but here Percival just slowing down the supply to defend multiple locations, so the planetary will go down. He cannot save it. It's just too spread. He's just too spread thin. And again, he just cannot keep up. Massive warp into the main base. Does see the planetary. I would just go for the base trade. We're going across the map, but there's just barely an army here. He's got what, 5 marauders? Doing what he can. There's a recall back home. Percival dropping into the main. Drops in. That's still going to be another 15 SCV kills. There's still a Zelda in the main base. Finally being cleaned up. Finally. Now this looks like the final engage here. The army's overstimmed. Metarex out of energy. GG and shameless size of the series. We are going to the ace match. GG. GG will played a very intense back and forth. Initially, if you recall, Percival, he had crippled Shameless. He was killing probes, he was denying bases. Shameless, he was struggling. But then we saw, as we have this entire series, like run-bys and counterattacks excel for both players. Shameless, he got across the map, but got the warpism into the main base, got the warp in going as well. SCVs are falling, and Percival had a very messy and very shaky defense back at home. GG. GG well played, as he was losing, what, 20 SCVs at a time. It was crazy. So much damage being dealt. And that leads us into the ace match. Going to be loading into Wave Breaker. Let's go. Here we go. TBD forever. How was this from last week or yesterday? Yesterday we did live cast PiGosaur Cup, so if you missed yesterday's broadcast, we were live, votes are available, but we missed last week's tournament. Last week we were otherwise preoccupied and busy, so we were not able to cast PiGosaur Cup, so we're catching up with last week's broadcast. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Wave Breaker, we have the South Green Terran player, we have the Blue Terran. It is Percival. Being forced into the ace match and spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player representing Stowny Balls. It is a Shameless. So, let us go. As welcome away Breaker. Now this is an older version of the map. Unfortunately, PiGosaur Cup, they don't enforce the new versions. Just as a heads up, the older version has been available for a month at this point. Also, the newer version has been available for a month. Basically, changes that have been made here are these rocks. These rocks, they've been moved over here instead to cut this pathway in half and to connect here. So we do have these rocks being maneuvered. I believe the rocks and towers were changed here on the fringe areas as well. So a lot of changes in regards to some of those rock features have been adapted and adjusted, but not in this version of the map. Was that a sound? Ah, fair enough, fair enough. All good. Hope you had a good time. Welcome back. Welcome back. Do you recommend checking out GSL if you missed it, if you were out of town? But GSL Season 1 did conclude. Season 2 has been ongoing and is actually going to be concluding in a couple of weeks. RSL's the other big one. The RSL finals are this weekend. So it's wrapping up this week. So now we're going to be opening up. This time it is going to be the Rax expand into double gas turbulent. Right, sorry, I was talking about some of the changes between different versions of the map, but welcome to Wave Breaker. Wave Breaker is a really unique map. Very, very unique. Has, as you can see here, a very open natural expansion, true, and a very direct path across the map. We have speed zones as well to speed up any kind of aggressive pushes through the center of the map. That is true. But when it comes to the third and fourth base locations, they're a little more unorthodox as well. We have a low ground base here on the right-hand side. We have a low ground base here on the left, so low ground third base options. That's all we have available here to us. But the ramps coming down into these locations are a little bit further back, and once again they're a little bit unusual as well. Some of them are a little bit more narrow than others, of course, and again, map awareness is going to be paramount on a map like Wave Breaker. it's interesting. It's just very quirky when it comes to the layout, when it comes to the design. Unfortunately, we haven't seen too many games on it, not yet. So behind this is going to be a Twilight Council into Blink. Very safe play here by Shameless going, oh no, my apologies, 4-gate Blink Stalker, hyper aggression. Okay, for the first time this series, 4-gate Blink into the rowboat, into the prism, and we'll move out across the map. Now, I'm not too fond of 4-gate Blink on this map just because there's no easy way, or there's no way into the main. That's one of the features of this map, is that the natural base is in front of the main expansion. One of the benefits of going 4-gate Blink is your ability to rotate back and forth between the natural and the main. Here you can only go for the frontal assault. That should make it a little bit more straightforward and easier for Percival to defend. As this is a big commitment here from Shameless. Big commitment. Mind Drop is moving out. Ideally, this scouts the gateways. Percival, he hasn't seen anything yet. And here comes Shameless's move out. Here we go, just drop in. Dropping 1, 2, 3 Widow Mines. And Shameless, he does react, losing 1 Stalker so far. Losing a Stalker, losing 1 Probe. Probe falls. So far, acceptable losses here. Oh, from Shameless. Shameless, he defends, and now it's time to attack. Here we go. And as I mentioned before, there's only one real attack path here for Shameless to go through. Does commit. And we'll see if we can break through. Bearing in mind that behind this we do have a 3-1-1 follow-up here. No tanks. Yeah, no tanks in position. Does wing forward. There's only 1 bunker. Void's being pulled to repair. Does focus on some Marines, but the bunker is holding. Oh, nice focus firing on the SCVs, but the bunker does hold. Second bunker finishes, and Percival, he does defend. Remember, this third base for Shameless is late. It's a late third expansion because of the commitment into the 4-gate Blink. So Shameless's economy is struggling. And he needs more damage with this. Jesus. And mine shot going off, catching up 1 probe. The workers, they stacked for a moment, and that was looking terrifying. Shameless, he does react. Once he blinks in, he gets 1 Marine. 2. A handful of Marine kills. Yeah, Percival breaks out, at least he tries to. Shameless will intercept. As we come in from behind, catching out the Stalkers. Very nice flank here by Percival. Punishing Shameless. Does need to pull away. And again, so far it's been that shaky start here for Shameless. Delays third to build up into 4-gate Blink to get no damage done. Aye. And here comes Percival's breakout. His breakout moment. What does he have? Stim, combat shields +1. All the upgrades are lining up here. Back at home, we will have charge. Charge is complete. Not many zealots yet, only 3. Here come the warpins. Getting up to 6. And 1, 2, 3 zealots go down. There's 3 zealots left. Not much buffer. Does not waste the mine shots. Ooh, Widow Mine does go down. No more zealots. And the army's stimming in. There's the energy overcharge. I believe with the overcharge, Shameless, he should be able to hold on here. But the soldiers are so low, and they do start getting focused down. There's some heavy losses there from Shameless. Some rough losses. Ooh, Prism tries to counterattack, gets shut down immediately. Percival was ready for it. With the Prism going down, he can just push. Behind this, just claiming his third base. Getting further ahead. Oh my god. Pushing out one more probe. And once again, Shameless had a late third expansion, and there's still no fourth base, right? The fourth is also very delayed here for Shameless. Still far behind economically. Percival getting his own third up and running. And here comes Percival. Pushing across the map. So he commits, is up in supply, up in army, up in economy. It's just been a rough start here for Shameless. The initial build of choice just was never worth it. It was a gamble, it was a risk. Didn't pay off. Once again, we see him try to engage. Nice kiting at a Percival. Quite nice kiting. Storm is on the way. Storm will help. Right now, Shameless, he's far behind, right? He's far behind. Shameless is hurting. But with a couple of well-placed storms, Shameless can win the fight. But this is so Marauder heavy. Never mind. Shameless tries to be active. Remember, he does have Storm. As he moves out, Percival moves in. Ghost production has begun. Liberators as well. Percival perfecting his army. I believe the High Templar in the Prism. Yep. Floor inside. Time he gets spotted. Percival turns back around. He races back home. He's racing back home to defend. Can he collapse in the army? Yeah, we attempt the surround. Here come the storms. Once again, mainly Marauders. Better second and third storm. Oh my god. He stands in the storms. Yeah, massive storms in the army. And Percival, he just intentionally just stands in the storms. He just tanks him to the face. And you know what? He still wins the fight. That's crazy. Still wins the fight. GG gets called. And Percival, he will claim the series 3-2. Advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played again. Percival so far ahead here after crippling the economy. Well, I say after crippling the economy. After Shameless had a really shaky start. Remember, we did mention that Shameless, he delayed his own third, he delayed his own fourth base, delayed everything in favor of 4-gate blink. Wasn't worth it. Wasn't worth it in the end. He failed to get damage done. I'm not too fond of the idea of 4-gate blink Stalker and Wave Breaker. As you mentioned, you're just very, very limited in aggressive options just because of how safe the main is. So I do think that this was just a bad build for that map, and with that, Shameless had a rocky start. With that, everything just kind of snowballed out of control. Percival took a massive lead. As we mentioned, Shameless's best chance, his best hope was to land some storms, and he did land a couple of storms, but that still was not enough just because of the deficit that Shameless had. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to be getting into our grand finals. It'll be a best of 5 between Percival and ByuN. For now, though, we're going to be going on a short break. And when we come back, we'll have the final series of the broadcast. Un momento. Take this moment, take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines, and hydrate all of your hydras. And we'll see you soon. See you soon in a couple of minutes. Hope. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the grand finals, those grand finales here of the PiGosaur Cup number 82. It's been an intense couple of matches here with featuring ByuN, Geralt, Shameless, and Percival. And now we have our top two players here, ByuN versus Percival in a TVT. Now, when it comes to this matchup here, Percival has been looking like a beast as of late. He's been beating players like ByuN and Cure on a much more regular basis. I think earlier we were having a brief discussion about up-and-coming players, and Percival has been looking very strong in said matchups. I would say, and I still stand by this, that Percival's weakest matchup right now is TVZ. That's where he's been struggling the most. But giving him a Terran or a Protoss, any Terran and any Protoss player, like nowadays, he can take it to them, he can bring them down. So he's been looking insane in said matchup, but we'll see if ByuN can keep up. We'll see if he can keep up. We'll see if he can redeem himself from their previous series. Let's go. As we jump into game one. Game one is going to be on at Attorney's Edge. Meanwhile, thank you so much in the chat. Gab, thank you so much, Esther, Albags. Thank you so much for the subscription, the Twitch Prime for 11 months. Almost a full year of support. Gracias, papi, gracias. Thank you so much for subscribing. We appreciate it as we are jumping into the first series of the finals. Let's go. The first game of the finals, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of at Attorney's Edge. Moving out with not just one, with two. Oh wait, no, with one SCV. We have the blue Terran player for Shopify. It is ByuN. There we go. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Terran player. We have the red Terran player getting proxy 2 racks. It is the South Korean Terran Percival. Let's go. Let us go. Here we go. We have one. We have 2 SCVs being sent across the map, going for the proxy 2 racks. Again, when it comes to TVT, expect hyper aggression, high octane, very fast games, very fast matches. We speak about this all the time, but TVT has a reputation of being a little bit slower, but that is from many years ago. TVT for the past, since like around maybe 2022-ish era of StarCraft, has been like non-stop aggression. Longer and later games have been a little bit rarer in recent years, over the past 4 years at this point. And we have a double gas opener. Double gas opener here. So Percival, when it comes to the rock paper scissors of TVT, it is a 2 racks Reaper out of ByuN. Meanwhile, double gas faster factory, faster Hellion out of Percival. When it comes to this initial opener here, we do favor Percival. He does have, I wouldn't say a build order win yet, but a build order advantage, and it means that ByuN, he has a bit of a shorter window to get damage done. Ideally, ByuN, he needs to catch the first Reaper. If he can catch the first Reaper or delay the factory, then he can snowball out of control. Otherwise, Percival should be able to defend. Now, another big factor here is that Percival doesn't know. Percival, he has yet to scout. I mean, scouting is very uncommon here in this matchup. You do typically check with the first Reaper, and you can see this Reaper so far has rallied to the entrance. We may check the third locations, but if that's the case, we got to be very quick to react and pull away if the first shot goes off. So you can see ByuN is banking up that first Reaper. Percival, he does check. Yeah, does scout, does pull away. Does pull away in time. He does not sustain a shot to the face. He's now fully aware of what's going on, and we should be seeing a couple of boys pulled into a control group and pulled. As we have to pull the SCVs. Does pull away. Yeah, does pull away. Again, has yet to pull the SCVs. One SCV goes down. Factory's going to be delayed here. Now the boys are being pulled. I will say this is a late reaction by Percival. This is a little bit late here. We'll lose a second worker. Factory does finish, but this was delayed. And Percival is in a bit of trouble. He will lose up to 4 SCVs. Yeah, 4 SCVs going down. Percival, he does hold, but again, did sustain some damage here. Did sustain some losses. And behind this, we transition. So remember, proxy 2 racks is not an all-in. This is not an all-in. This is a macro build. Behind this, ByuN going for the factory, into Tech Lab, into Cyclone, into macro accelerators. So we have the Cyclone follow-up out of ByuN. The game will continue. Now, ByuN did kill 4 SCVs. As a result, ByuN has a worker lead. True, but he is behind when it comes to the CC timing, right? The command center is almost done for Percival. So Percival, he should still maintain a greater early game economy. Should be able to. So again, an intense back and forth here. Percival, he does defend. Okay, with the production. Behind this, going for zone add-ons to zone tech labs. For ByuN, as we mentioned, it's very common to go tech lab into Cyclone, into Macville accelerators. We'll see if that's the case here. It's just very common. And Percival trying to catch out the Reapers. Nice dodge. Very nice dodge. Oh. Gets a volley up. Another Reaper goes down to 4. Down to 3. Ooh, down to 2 and down to 1. One Reaper left here. Better engaged here by Percival, catching out the entire army. ByuN has to get the hell out of here. He will not escape. And behind this, here come those Cyclones, as we did mention. But alas, ByuN, who will lose map control, who will lose momentum, and may even lose control of the low ground here. The CC still in production. This will be the time for Percival to move in. But now there's a Cyclone. And now there's a Cyclone. We could see Percival dive on the building SCV and sacrifice some units, but nah, he backs up. Does back up in the end. Now, I should emphasize, seeing mech fill accelerators here, this does not mean mech. It's not mech. It is standard to build up to 2 to 3 Cyclones early on with mech field. The reasoning why you need these Cyclones is because when you go for a proxy 2 racks, your production's up in the air, right? These racks has not been producing for until now, until they finally, one of them does land. So without any production, you need something to defend, and you have to rely on these Cyclones. Behind this, ooh, very fast third CC. So ByuN, he's behind economically here. Again, later natural compared to Percival, later saturation. So ByuN, to make up for that, is being greedy. If Percival realizes what's going on, he can go for an all-in. He can try to break ByuN early on, but no, Percival going for his own fast third. Scan reveals the third base of ByuN, so Percival, he knows. Likewise, he does scout the upgrade researching of the tech lab. Ooh, does try to dive in. And ByuN gets a lock on. So does Percival. Jesus. Yeah, lock-ons are being broken, but Percival, he will lose the Cyclone. He will lose both. Massive pickoffs here. Oh, we trade actually. Okay. 2 for 2. We trade 2 for 2, and 6 SCVs go down. Critical damage done in the mineral line. ByuN was hyper-fixated on the Cyclone, so were we, and in the midst of all of that, 6 workers go down. Percival, he does extend his lead. Oof. Does extend the lead here. We were all distracted by the Cyclones. With that, Percival's moving out. Remember, Percival, he's aware that this was a slightly faster expansion, and ideally Percival wants to contain ByuN. Contain ByuN while he claims his own third. ByuN's third is already morphing into the orbital. Percival's his is just now finishing. Moving in position. Looking at the upgrades here, Interference Matrix was researched. So these Ravens can pop off. Now going to be deflected. Percival playing it safe. Liberation gets across the map. Not bad. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh, we pull back too soon. Yeah, miscontrol here by Percival. 5, 6 SCV kills. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, rough pullback out of Percival. And that's his equalized. That shouldn't have happened, by the way. That should not have happened. But 6 workers go down, and now ByuN does even things up. Remember, ByuN was behind. Not anymore. I mean, still down in tech, for sure. ByuN has no Ravens of his own. And hunting for stray units. Percival looking for a way in. Remember, he has all those disables. Lock-on is broken. Tanks are moving in. Disables 1, disables 2. Disables both tanks. Icy within range, throws down the line of water turrets, and there we go. He breaks through the tank line. 1, 2 tanks go down. Boys are being pulled. SCVs are falling. Vikings, they land on the final tank. A bold move here by Percival, and he will not get the tank. Yeah, barely not. But there we go. Does finish it off towards the end. The boys are being pulled. There's that order turret to punish. And even if ByuN holds here, and they should be able to hold on, it's still some heavy losses for ByuN. Oof. As ByuN is down to 2 Marines. 2 Marines back. Percival, he snowballs out of control. 16 SCV kills, and Percival, he has done it. He has broken ByuN. Desperation out of ByuN, pulling the boys into Vikings. Into the Vikings back. GG gets called, and Percival takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played again. Hyper aggressive start here. ByuN initially, I would say, didn't really achieve what he wanted with the initial proxy 2x Reaper. In the end, had a rockier start. We then had a bit of a back and forth here, of course, with ByuN finding some damage with the Liberator. At the same time, we saw that Percival was able to get some damage done with his Reaper Hellion as well, so we had that back and forth. In the end, Percival had a slight advantage. I say slight advantage, had a big tech advantage specifically due to the Ravens, right? Having 3 Ravens over the 0 Ravens of ByuN because of the build of choice. And in the end, with those Ravens, Percival was able to flex himself, was able to flex that win at the natural. GG. GG, well played. It did everyone, did mass disable, mass order turrets, and snowball out of control. With that, we're going to be loading into game 2. Going to be loading into game 2, going to be loading into Defender's Lab. This map is going to be a little bit more defendable, of course, is a little bit more mid-game oriented, but we'll see if the game slows down or if we just keep the pace up. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Defender's Lab, we have the South Green Terran player, we have the Blue Terran down in the series. We'll see if we can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Red Terran player, the South Green Terran, leading the series 1-0. It is Percival. Go. Let us go. So we are going to be opening up. Be calming down. This time no proxy. Right, this time there's no proxy, there's no SCV being sent across the map. No shenanigans. Going for a much more standard opener this time. This time much more standard. I say that it is going to be a double gas opener out of Percival. Meanwhile, ByuN likewise double gas as well. Okay, so double gas openers all around. What does that mean? That means faster factories. It means a heavier tech start and a later expansion. You saw Percival go for this build last game and it worked wonders because ByuN went for a proxy. So in a sense, they're both playing safe. Here we go. Both being safe on Defender's Lab. ByuN, I'm sure, paranoid that Percival, he would fight back with his own proxy. Percival terrified that ByuN would just proxy 2 games in a row, which we have seen before, by the way. We've seen ByuN proxy 3 games in a row and fail all 3 times. Like, that's like that would not stop ByuN. Wouldn't stop him. But now we're calming down. So now ByuN does scout, it does check for a proxy here at the linear third location. Now we'll check the triangular third. Oh, it goes back in just in case. CC on location for both players, and now we're just calming down. We're calming down, we're settling in. Now when it comes to TVT, when it comes to the mid game, we didn't really get to discuss the tendencies of our players because last game was so fast and so short. But if we do end up embracing the mid game here, ByuN, he's very fond of a bio-heavy style, as opposed to regular Terran players, as he does open up Reactor Reaper Hellion. Interesting. I believe Percival does not. Yep, no Reactor. So ByuN is going to have a bit of a power spike early on. The goal here for ByuN is to catch and overwhelm the first couple of Reapers, as you're seeing here. It's so risky moving out like this as a Terran player in TVT. If you lose these Reapers, it will cost you the natural base. So it does move in. Who catches who? That's with the Hellion. Percival does scout the Reactor as well, the add-on, and he pulls away. So nice scouting here by Percival. He backs off and he's taking a defensive stance. Now what we're getting at is that ByuN, he's very unique in the mid-game compared to any other Terran player out there, where he goes for a very marine-heavy style. He often does avoid Vikings, and he often does avoid Ravens as well, going into a higher medevac count, higher marine counts, a lower tank count, and just being a lot more mobile and a lot more aggressive. But again, that's specifically in the mid-game. We'll see if we can get there. As ByuN comes in from behind, very nice. It does that position, it cleans up the army. At least he hopes to. Oh, never mind. Percival, he holds his own. Yeah, he holds his own, catching out the Reaper in the end. Better trade for Percival, despite the Reactor Reaper Hellion here. ByuN is forced back, and Percival, he defends. He defends, he holds on. Percival already taking up into his own Raven production. ByuN, it looks like he might go into a Raven himself. Should be able to. There we go. Raven's on the way. Roll, I do prefer this opener here by Percival. ByuN has potential. Building up his tank count early on. Going into tanks, catching up with his own Raven production as well. And eyes are open for the third CC. Do we throw down production or third base? And it's looking like a third. Oh. I mean, hey, we just spoke about this. So, fun fact, ByuN, he makes only one tank. He makes one singular tank and then adults hop into very fast stim into extra racks, so ByuN does not expand. Instead, we have an insanely fast stim timing here out of ByuN. Meanwhile, Percival, third CC on location. Percival is being greedy, ByuN is being aggressive. I mean, he's being greedy in his own way. He's being greedy in the sense that he's cutting tank production very early on, so he is vulnerable to a push, but Percival isn't pushing because he's expanding. There's a scan, and big scan here. Percival confirms no more tank production. No tank production, early stim. Big scan. And Percival, you can see, instantly moves out. He does instantly move out. He knows that ByuN is vulnerable. As he moves out, ByuN is moving in. And ByuN will delay, and can he force back Percival? Does he force him back? He does not. And you can see that Percival's CC is going to be delayed, and Percival does not flinch. I say that, he does turn around with his Hellion Cyclone, his more mobile army. Does swap ByuN. Percival still pushing. Do we intercept? Who catches who? Again, there's still that one tank here in the back line. First, we're setting up. Ooh. Does catch up for Cyclone, not bad. Now, Stim is going to finish up in time. Wow, Stim is going to be done in time. And ByuN can break through. Nice Liberation. Yeah, Liberation is going to get set up. Auto charge get thrown down. We're breaking through the Marines. He's breaking through here. Stim is still not done. Finishing up in 3 seconds, and just before Stim, a nice anti-timing here by Percival. Very nice. And Percival, he's done it. He's done it. He has broken ByuN. Again, very nice scout, very nice reaction. Percival, he scouted the early Stim. He knew that ByuN was vulnerable, and he just went for the kill, went for the throws, and he was able to hit 5 seconds before Stim. GG gets called, and Percival takes a 2-0 lead in the series. Ooh, GG. GG, well played again. Nice scouting, nice reaction, nice response here by Percival. He scouted the main base. He saw no tank production. He saw early Stim, and he was able to hit. Again, it was still seconds before Stim finished. Stim was not a part of that defense, and Percival overwhelmed. The best chance that ByuN had was to distract with his Cyclone, if you remember. He had his Cyclone Hellion on the map. He was hoping to distract, hoping to delay, but Percival, he was only distracted with his own Hellion Cyclone. He just kept pushing across the map, went for the kill. GG. Whew, GG, well played with that. Percival is up 2-0 in the series, and will we clean it up here and now 3-0, or will ByuN begin the comeback? Up next, we're going to be loading into Wave Breaker. Once again, this is the older version of Wave Breaker. It is going to be the TLMC22 version. Let's go. Let's go. As personally, I'm hoping for a back and forth. I want to see a game 4. I want to see a game 5. I want to have a more dynamic series here, but the pressure is now on ByuN. The pressure is on. Spawning in the right-hand corner of Wave Breaker, we have the blue Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran representing Shopify. Down in the series, can he bounce back and make a series out of this? It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran. It is Percival. Let's go. Let us go. As we are going to be settling into our third game. Once again, welcome to Wavebreaker. Wavebreaker has some unique features, of course. Has a very safe main, as the main base is behind the natural. If you recall, we were criticizing Shameless's build choice in the semifinals for going for 4K Blink on this map just because there are less aggressive options. So that is something to bear in mind. Meanwhile, we have our third and fourth base both on the low ground, both a lot more open, a lot more exposed, but the entrances into these areas are actually choked up. We have a very narrow entrance here in the center of the map. Likewise, we have a much more awkward engage here towards the left hand side just because of the terrain as well. Once again, as we mentioned previously, these rocks have been moved. They've been moved over towards the center, so there's a bit of a different dynamic, different kind of rotation path, I should say. It's like interesting to see the changes, but we're not able to experience them here. Next time. Hopefully next time. As Percival does scout the nearby proxy locations, checks both third bases. Nothing crazy. Double gas opening here by Percival. Meanwhile, ByuN going for a Rax expand. You can see here a much faster command center. So single gas opener, an economic build here by ByuN, going for a faster CC. ByuN, the first player of this series to go for something more greedy like this. True. First player to be greedy. The pressure is going to be on Percival to make up for this. To make up for the greed. As Percival does poke in, he does scout the delayed factory and he scouts the early CC. He knows. Percival, he's aware of the greedier build, but can he do anything about it? If you recall, we just mentioned that just because of the terrain set up here, it's difficult to really be aggressive and try to harass both locations. So it's not going to be easy here for Percival. Gonna be easy. So now we're going to be opening up. Percival commits into Reaper Hellion into Cyclone, and behind this, doubling down, going for Banshee play as well. Okay, again, Percival, he wants to do damage. He wants to punish ByuN, as Percival is behind economically. So very tech heavy, very committed. And we'll see if this pays off. See if this does pay off. Meanwhile, back at home, ByuN just saturating, just building with SV, saturating, going to zone, Bio, Cyclone, a Raven start. Building up his Raven counts. No disable has been researched yet, that is true. But does at least have auto turrets available. Still value there, of course. Still value. There we go, now researching the upgrade. Researching Interference Matrix. Percival poking in. In, gets one Hellion, and it was going to be forced back. Banshee forced to reveal itself early on. Oh, yeah, it does trade with the army. The ground army does crumble. Banshee does catch up for Cyclone at least. Master Repair coming in. Oh my god, the repair is enough, and the Banshee goes down. Heavy losses here for Percival, as that was not worth it. How many Banshees did he make? Just one. Just the one Banshee. Third CC on location. This is a desperation move out of Percival, as he lost his army. Trying to expand, and he has triggered the counterattack. Oh boy, it's going to be a tough hold for Percival. As ByuN is moving out. Remember, ByuN, he has how many? He has 3 Ravens. He has at least 3 disables. How many tanks are there? 2. So both tanks should be disabled. And the question becomes, can Percival survive the assault without his tanks? as Percival is making a third tank, but remember there are at least three disables. At least 3 out of ByuN. ByuN's moving in. Goes down the auto turret actually, okay. Breaks down the tank, it does force his way through. Goes through the other tank as well. Yeah, breaks through 2 tanks already. There's only 1 tank left. And ByuN is getting us over the third. Yeah, he's getting us over the third base. This third base should not finish. Should not and will not. And it's going to be cancelled. Yeah, massive pig off. GG gets called, and ByuN snowballs out of control. We have a back and forth. ByuN will put a point on the board. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, this all came down to the failed aggression from Percival. So winding it back, Percival, he went for a tech-heavy start. ByuN went for an economic start. And as soon as Percival realized what was going on, he felt the need to be aggressive. So he went into Banshee production, moved out across the map, and he lost everything. He lost his Reapers, his Hellions, and his Banshee as well. And because of that, he had very little to defend. He had very little support for his tanks. So that did trigger the counterattack, and he had nothing to hold on. He had 2 tanks, he had like 1 Raven, he had a handful of Marines. And against triple Raven, I thought it was going to be disables, but no, he just threw it on auto turret and he just broke through the tank line. That was game. That was game then and there, and with that, we're now getting into game number 4. And again, ByuN has begun that comeback. Do we force the ace match, or does Percival still close it out as he's still on match point? Up next, loading into Sanctuary 3. Let's go. We're getting into game number 3 here. Sorry, game number 4. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Sanctuary 3, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify. Down in the series, but does put a point on the board. He has begun the comeback, and can he force the ace match for Shopify? It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Terran player, the red Terran, the South Korean Terran, leading the series 2-1 and still 1 game away from claiming the series. It is Percival. Here we go. Welcome one and all to Sanctuary 3. Sanctuary 3 is one of the more quote-unquote standard maps in the map pool, but has its own very unique features. First things first, we have a ramp. We have a ramp coming into the natural, so a very defendable natural base. As a result, we may see greedier builds from both players. Likewise, we have our high ground third expansion. This area in between the bases can be abused, 100%. This area can be abused. You can be aggressive. You can wedge yourself in between the bases. But to help with that, we do have... oh, never mind. This is the TLMC22 version, not the updated version. There should be slow zones here. There should be slow zones in the center, so a little bit unfortunate. We'll do our best to try to enforce the players to play on the updated versions of the map, but there should be slow zones here, and the rocks, I believe, have been moved and adjusted as well. So there are some changes on the newer version of this map. In this version, no slow zones, but there are still at least destructible towers. Another thing that was added, if you recall, we were casting it yesterday, is mineral patches, or mineral patches added here on this center base location and this base location as well, to delay this space from being taken, to intentionally delay. For now though, single gas opener out of Percival, single gas opener out of ByuN, mirrored economic builds. ByuN's natural was delayed by like a second or 2, but not the biggest of deals. It's fine. It's okay. As now we're just calming down, we're opening up a faster factory here out of ByuN. From here we are building up in towards the early game. Nothing crazy, nothing wild, no proxy, no early game aggression. Due to the economic starts, we shouldn't really have anything too crazy until we build up on 2 bases. The next big question for us is going to be whether or not we rush into a faster third, or if we go into a more production instead, and whether and how that influences the other player, how they compare to each other, and what they go for. Speaking of, there it is, a faster TC. So Percival, he's being hyper greedy, rushing to a third TC before starport. Meanwhile, ByuN is going for a 1-1-1 starport before command center. So ByuN is going for a more tech-heavy follow-up. Percival is going for a greedier follow-up. So it's going to be up to ByuN to scout to confirm how greedy Percival is being and to punish that greed. If he fails to punish, then Percival is going to snowball out of control. So we need to be able to punish. ByuN moving out. ByuN, he has not seen. He has no idea so far, at least. That's what's going on. Will pick up an SCV, not bad. Gets one. Gets one SCV, and ByuN with that tech heavy start is going in a Cloak Banshee. Okay. ByuN. Doubling down with the Banshees. The risk you take, of course, is that we do have Ravens on the way for Percival. So there is going to be some mobile detection. So we'll see what ByuN can get done. So now we have our add-on swap. Tank production will now begin. A standard follow-up here by Percival, building up his tanks. Oh, sorry, going Cyclone first, actually. Okay, being a little bit safer. He's being safe. Percival, he should not face check that ramp, as ByuN, of course, will shoot first. And Percival, he's rallied here, parked outside of the base. Nice concave to make sure he gets a first shot off. Banshee's still amassing. First one gets across the map. There is going to be that one Cyclone to defend. It's currently at the natural, not the main. Banshee moves in. How many kills? As he getting two shot. Gets one, gets two. Getting it to 3 SCVs. They're getting it to 4. Ooh, this is getting out of hand. 4 workers going to be going down. Trading against the Marines. Picks up 1, picks up 2. Almost 3. So 4 SCVs and 2 Marines. Not a bad pick up here from ByuN. Not a bad start. But remember, he needs to get damage done because Percival already has a third on location. Right? The worker count, even though he just killed 4 SCVs, the worker count is even. And it's worse than that, actually. Percival's ahead. Why? Extra mules. He can make 3 SCVs at a time, and he has extra mules as well. ByuN, his own third CC is still morphing in. So ByuN needs more damage. It was a good start, but needs more. As we have the second Banshee moving in. Oh, catching some mules, some fresh mules even. There he gets an SCV. Does catch a fresh mule. Very nice harass here with the second Banshee. And the Banshee will get away. Get away, will escape. Raven getting called out. So far, ByuN, he is getting damage done. The tanks will zone away. Tanks zone away, ByuN. Percival gets across the map. What do you have to defend? Tanks. Yeah, there are tanks in position. Oh, does try to go for the dive. It's not going to be pretty. Trades with the Marines, but it will lose everything. Yeah, we'll lose everything here. Not quite worth it for Percival. He was hoping that ByuN was out on the map. Does force ByuN back home at least. And what's important, fun fact, Percival still is ahead. Like, he still has a worker advantage. That's the power of mules and triple SV production. Oh, Raven barely survives. Percival, he breaks out. What's the tank out looking like? Even on tanks, 3 and 3. ByuN, who will siege up here on the left-hand side. This better be good. And he does get a shot off. And shot goes off. Ooh, Cyclones are getting caught out. Percival overextends. Losing one tank. He'll lose one. A little bit messy here by Percival. And we're getting messy. Remember, ByuN has no Ravens. He has no Ravens due to the Cloak Banshees. Locking on one of the Ravens. Locking is broken. Percival mentioned this at the start of the game. This area here on the low ground can be abused. Percival sieged up. Yeah, disables a little bit too late. Boys are being pulled. We land the Vikings, and ByuN, he should break out. Yeah, he should break out here. He gets 1, 2, or 3 tanks. Massive breakout here from ByuN. A better engage takes a massive tank lead. And again, Percival just didn't have enough support. Not enough support here. Percival rushing into a 4th CC. So greedy here by Percival. He's being so greedy. Here comes ByuN. Yeah, ByuN is moving out. It's going to be a tough hold here for Percival. Percival does have that economic lead, but it may not matter. Oh, yeah, it may not matter here. Percival does get himself with 2 tanks though. Nicely done. Gets himself with 3. Oh, but the landed Vikings. Oh my god. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do we get all 5 tanks? 4 tanks go down. Heavy losses here for ByuN. The spread from Percival. Very impressive. Yeah, he avoided splash damage, landed the Vikings. ByuN just threw away 4 tanks. We're getting rowdy. We're getting rowdy. Double drop in towards the main. Turrets are not yet done. One is. Shot comes in. There's the auto turrets. Ravens, they do get away. And with the landed Vikings, Percival should hold. Yeah, he should hold on here. Cleans up all the tanks. Cleans up the drop completely. Oh, we're only losing 2 SCVs. Cleaner defensive by Percival, and what is scary, again, Percival, you had the faster and better saturation at the 3rd base, and now of course the faster saturation at the 4th as well. ByuN's is in production, Percival's is already getting up. And even getting another CC on location. This should not be possible in the new iteration of the map, bear that in mind. We're just claiming another expansion. Distracting ByuN. Percival, he did spot the 4th base and he's pushing. Oof. Will lose a full drop though. Percival moving out, pushing towards that 3rd. Will disable. Quick on siege out of ByuN. Yeah, very nice on siege. As Percival is not within range of the CC, thankfully. Does disable another tank. Lands the Vikings. Nice pickup. He gets 1. He gets 1 tank. At the same time, Percival moves in. ByuN's in position. But Percival's gaining ground. He's gaining ground here. There's only 1 tank to defend. It's not going to be enough. ByuN's Marines are pinned down. Oh. Nice stim, very nice stim, catching up both Ravens. Yeah, Percival, he was inattentive, but Percival does still have the larger ground army. So the larger army did lose his Ravens, and that was a big loss for Percival. Percival's up in upgrades, he has 2-2. Yeah, he's got the better upgrades. In a head-on fight, he will come out on top. ByuN being torn apart. 3rd base is denied. As ByuN, he's about to catch up on those upgrades. 2-2 is on the horizon. And Percival rotates. Okay, Percival does rotate over. This will cost Percival 2 tanks, but this is going to be 2 medics full of Marines dropping on the left-hand side. And that means that the right-hand side is going to be that much weaker. Here comes Percival. Percival is stimming in. Does stim in, tanks are sieging. The boys are being pulled. Desperation here by ByuN. He will lose all the SCVs, and ByuN, can he get on top of the tanks? I think he can. He should barely be able to. Oh god. Down to 3. No, never mind. Never mind. He cannot break through. The tank line is just solid. Marines, they just melt. 17 SCV kills, and ByuN, he has been broken. He has been broken. ByuN down to 60 workers. That is under 3 base saturation. So ByuN barely has an economy. Percival pushing through. And Percival, you can just chill. If you want to, you can just chill, back off, and max out. So let's rotate. Rotates to the left. Runs into tanks. Oh. She does notice. Of course, this is being rebuilt.
Base is under attack.
Again, ByuN just kind of expands. Percival threatening a dive. ByuN's keeping up. ByuN's able to keep up. Percival rotates over towards that third base. What do we have to defend? We have one tank pre-siege. The others are on the low ground. You just get the tank. Yeah, tank goes down. That's still 5 tanks on the low ground though. Only one disabled. Just the one. ByuN holds. ByuN is holding on here. Again, massive tank shots from this, the massive volleys from those tanks. Percival throwing away supply. Percival is ahead, but he's going to be careful here. He's going to be careful. Behind this is making 2 Ravens at a time. Now he's aware, of course, of the higher tank count. Percival, cuidado, Patrick, cuidado. So does Siege. Oh, God, once again, he runs into 3 tanks. Percival. He didn't see. He's making mistakes. Here throwing away 2 Vikings. ByuN has been very efficient here. He's been out trading Percival for the past couple of minutes. Even here, catching out some free tanks. He gets 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks are free. And Percival, we are ahead, but we got to be careful. And this makes up for it. Yeah, this makes up for that. He does slip by. He would take down the entire mineral line. Massive loss here for ByuN, losing 18 SCVs. And ByuN is all in. At this point, ByuN is all in. ByuN has lost far too much. Back at home, we need a defensive line. ByuN has to push soon. As ByuN has a comparable, if not greater, main army, but he's behind in workers. He's down in workers, down in economy. Again, Percival throws away a drop of Marines. The supplies are evening up. Bearing in mind that ByuN does have a larger army supply now. Again, Percival's been making a lot of mistakes. Now, because of his lead, Percival, he can make mistakes and get away with it. But only for so long. As ByuN stims in, he breaks through the Marines, getting on top of the tank. Better fight for ByuN. Yeah, better engage, and Percival is forced back home, losing more CVs. Again, it's just been a very messy mid to late game here for Percival. Very messy. Losing CCs. Tanks are exposed, losing 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks are free. Percival, yo, we gotta lock in. That's like losing 4 tanks, losing 6. 6 tanks go down. Again, 6 tanks that were just left on their own. Percival does have a very... Now, when it comes to a main fight, Percival has a better army. He has Mass Raven, right? He's been just building up Mass Raven Viking. This is a superior composition, but ByuN has been avoiding the main fight, right? He's been avoiding the Ravens. He just goes for backstabs, counterattacks, out-positioning Percival, avoiding that main fight. Percival is still max. And once again, we should emphasize that... Oh, that's Percival losing out more Medivacs. We should emphasize that Percival, the reason why this is happening is because he has had a superior economy for like 5 minutes now. It's been 5, maybe even more than that. Which is a high worker count, more bases, more efficient mining. So again, he can still make mistakes. And he's still ahead. ByuN catching the Raven. Does catch a Raven. ByuN being active here on the top side as well. Looks like ByuN, he's about to max. Pushing on left side. This time the Ravens are keeping up. At the same time, we have a drop on the right hand side, catching out gas geysers. Okay, does pick some gases. ByuN has to be very careful here. This should really just be a distraction, where ByuN is distracting Percival. Because ByuN cannot fight. Oh no! Yeah, massive armor shred. Percival sims in. Where are the auto turrets? He's holding onto them. He's holding onto the turrets. ByuN has to pull away. We're still holding onto a lot of energy. There we go. War trucks are thrown down. And now we're catching out 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks. Oof. ByuN gets punished. He gets caught mid-rotation. And the Ravens, they can dominate. They can just throw down a field of auto turrets and take down the tank line. First 9 has his bases fully operational. Percival still has a bank, remember that. Still has a bank. ByuN does not. Sure goes up. Ooh, does overextend, losing 1, 2, 3. I want to say that was 4 Ravens. Jesus. Yeah, big overextension out of Percival. Losing a massive chunk of Ravens. Disables a little bit late. Late disables, but Percival, he is gaining ground. And as we try to emphasize at the beginning of the series, I think it was game 2 that we spoke about it, or game 3. But when it comes to ByuN's style of play, it is not efficient. It's not as... It cannot fight head on. We spoke about this earlier, talking about how ByuN, he does like skipping Vikings. He skips Vikings, he skips Ravens, and he goes into a very heavy Marine tank count. That's what we're seeing here. It's just not... He's making 13 Marines in one tank, like it's just pure Marine tank. It's a very cheap army, and it's very mobile, that is true, but in a head-on fight, it's like he cannot take a head-on engage. Or he's been struggling to, as you've seen. As Percival's army is outscaling. So he wants those tanks. He wants them. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets 3? 2. Let's catch 2 tanks. Liberation has arrived. Marines a stim in. Does he get a Raven? Gets 1. It's 1 Raven. And a Liberator. Again, Percival's army is just slowly outscaling ByuN. Does him in, catching a Liberator, not bad. Does catch a Lib, does catch a tank. Does catch a couple of stray units. There was an opening. Once again, ByuN scans, he sims in, catching out another tank. Like ByuN has to be very opportunistic here with these Marines. Does get 2 tanks. Oh, he's losing some of his own. Yeah, bleeding off tanks of his own. Oh, the rocks, they get knocked down. ByuN does break through. The mass Marine breaks through the siege line. And how many Ravens do we have left? 4. Again, Percival has been very... I'll say he's been very careless with his Ravens, and he's been exposing them quite a bit. A lot of Ravens have gone down. Has been careless. ByuN taking fresh base. ByuN is still looking for a way in. He's looking back. Sims in, does get a free tank. Yeah, one tank goes down, massive armor shred. As ByuN tries to rotate. And ByuN does find a base. At the same time, he looks towards the tanks. Yeah, tanks are exposed, so that's going to be 3 tanks going down for ByuN. ByuN does take down the base and a mineral line, that is true. But losing tanks. ByuN down to 6. As ByuN just keeps going. Ravens, no Vikings, no Liberators, no problem. Just use man with gun. Man with gun is pretty good. But again, it's just heavily reliant on outmaneuvering your opponents. Like, you have to be very active with this for ByuN to make it work. And it's also ByuN playing this stuff from behind. Ideally, you have map control with this. And ideally, have the better economy. That's not the case here. As ByuN does him in. He wants the Ravens. Sims 40 does not get them. Ravens, they get away. The mass mule here on the fresh base. As the map is being cut in half. We're cutting the map in half. The Marines, they sim in. They once again find all these free tanks. 2, 3, 4, 5. Do we get all 6 tanks? We do. Yeah, all the tanks go down once again. Very little support. Nice pickups here by ByuN. Oh, he does overextend a little bit though. Getting one more tank. He's stimming. Be careful, man. Be careful. Stimming everything. And again, we're fighting for these center expansions. There's this space here and the northern expansion as well. We're fighting for the center bases. ByuN rotating to the top side. There's actually not much here for ByuN, which means Percival, he can break through, and he will. Yeah, he breaks through, gets into a mineral line, a nice counterattack finally here by Percival. Takes down some SCVs. 8 SCV kills, 8 SCV kills now dropping into the main. First, we can now push towards that mining base. The mule's back. As Percival does leave his army idle. Yeah, he just wants to secure himself.
Base is under
there we go. Denies mining. Liberators in position. ByuN rotating everything here to the top side. And Percival, he is making his way over. Move over. Nice armor shred. Another tank. Gets one. One tank goes down. Massive table as Percival, he breaks through the siege line, getting 1, 2, 3 tanks. And he gets in. And no planetary. Yeah, no planetary. SCVs are going down. ByuN commits into the orbitals. That's a lot of orbitals. Vikings, they move in. Ravens as well. We've got to be careful. Don't throw away the Ravens. Does not want to throw them away. And again, heavy losses for ByuN. ByuN who loses main army, who loses economy. Remember, barely any mining. Barely any income. And here comes Percival. He takes the base. That's a kill. I mean, that's the difference between Percival and ByuN. Percival, he has all these orbitals in the back line. ByuN does not. ByuN, he has no backup bases. He floated his third base over to expand. Like, ByuN has been desperate here for an economy. for this entire game. And now finally, Percival, he's locked in. Like again, he's been making a lot of little slip-ups here and there, a lot of mistakes that have been adding up throughout the course of the mid to late game. But he still has a superior main army. Still has the Mass Raven. There's a tank. Percival now taking some of ByuN's bases. It's a planetary. Same time, tanks the siege up here on the right hand side. Percival, he should react in time though. And where do we move in? Tanks are being thrown away. Percival, we got where are we going? Okay, he reacts. Does react to the Southern Army. Could have been here earlier to defend. And that's going to be a planetary going down. Again, Percival with some late reactions. Very late. At the same time, he does pick up some SCVs. He gets some kind of counter damage. Pulls away. Pulls away, catching out 2 more tanks. 2 more tanks going down. Nice pickups. Oh god. Be careful. Okay, it was within range of the tank line. ByuN rotates to the top side. This southern base is somewhat exposed. We're going to trade bases. What's the plan for Percival? He's out of position. He's racing over. He's racing all the way to the top side. He's coming. Due to this rotation, yeah, he's exposed towards the south side. He's just being torn apart. Another CC goes down. Now he's coming back over. Percival, where are we going? Where are we? Ah, God. We gotta make up our mind. And again, he should take down this base. This planetary should fall. Now it's ByuN reacting to Percival. Okay. Yeah, Billy races over. GG gets called. He cannot save his base. Down to 32 SCVs. And Percival, he will claim the series 3-1. Percival, he will be our PiGosaur Cup number 82 champion. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Percival took a massive lead like 15 minutes ago. Like it was Percival, he was miles ahead. He was crippling ByuN. He had the faster third, the faster fourth base, the better army, and had a massive lead. But he did, I would say, miss an opportunity to try to end the game and kill ByuN. So the game just kept going, And ByuN, he was able to, I wouldn't say, would I say stabilize? He was able to keep up at least. He was able to keep up, tread water, take some bases, and maintain an army. And even though we saw time and time again, ByuN, he was catching out tanks, catching out ravens, killing some bases, the reality is ByuN had a very low SCV count. He was very, very low on workers, very low SCV count for like 10 plus minutes at that point. so he could barely sustain himself. And even though he was in a way out trading his opponents by trading out mainly Marines with some higher gas tech units, Percival, he had more bases, he had more mining, he had a better economy, he had a bigger bank, and he could just afford it. He could afford to make mistakes, he could afford these losses, he could afford to lose ravens and tanks here and there. He was fine, he could just keep rebuilding, keep remaking, and eventually did overwhelm. As I mentioned, ByuN could never really fight head on. His army was built to harass. It's built to like counterattack, backstab, and go for these more like guerrilla tactics. But when it comes like these head-on fights, that's where he does struggle, and he couldn't really take that head-on frontal engagement. And GG, well played. With that, congratulations Percival. He will claim the series, he will take the 3-1 and be our champion. GG, well played. Again, for those that are unaware, Percival, he's been beating players like ByuN and Cure on a regular basis. I'll say this TVT is looking very strong as of late. What Percival, I would say, is lacking with is TVZ. His TVZ is his worst matchup. I'll say his best matchup is Terran versus Protoss. His TVP is his best matchup, followed by Terran versus Terran, and then Terran versus Zerg, being falling a little bit further behind. But again, Percival, his rate of improvement has been quite nice over the past year, almost 2 years at this point, almost 2 years of improvement. But doing well for himself. GG, well played. Whew, hi. GG. Honestly, just impressed how well he's holding on given those disadvantages. Yeah, again, like he was forcing a lot of mistakes out of Percival, right? He was able to outposition multiple times and hold his own. It was impressive for sure. But GG, well played. Congratulations to Percival. My condolences to ByuN as he's knocked down the finals. And that will be wrapping up our catch-up coverage of PiGosaur Cup number 82. Remember, this was last week's tournament. Unfortunately, last week we were not available to cover PiGosaur Cup. We were not available, so we just had to catch up, and now we're fully caught up with the PiGosaur Cup action, of course. We'll be back next week with PiGosaur Cup number 84. When it comes to our weekly schedule, bam, you can check it out here as well. We're going to be live later on tonight. Oh, there we go. And we're going to be live later on this evening here with GSL. So last night we were live with GSL, the Renovate Group A. Tonight we're going to be live casting GSL Group B, the round of 8, to determine who's going to advance on to the semi-finals. For those who don't know, we live cast GSL on Soup. We do not live cast it on Twitch or YouTube. The reasoning for this is because Soup is the main organizer and sponsor of the event. They do organize the event, they run the event. So if you're going to live cast GSL, it has to be on Soup, not on Twitch, not on YouTube. Soup, for those who don't know, is Afrika TV. Afrika TV, they rebranded like a year, 2 years ago to Soup. They did have a big rebranding, so that is where you can find the streams and the VODs. Otherwise, if you don't watch it live, you can check out our rebroadcast over the weekend. That's why on the schedule you can see we have GSL on Wednesday and Thursday, that's a live cast, and then you can see GSL again on Saturday and Sunday, that is the rebroadcast of that live stream on Twitch and YouTube. The reason why it's 2 days later, it's 48 hours after the fact, is because that is the restriction. That is their rule, of course, is that we can only showcase the VOD on another platform 48 hours later. So we have to wait 48 hours and then we can show the VOD elsewhere. So that is what we have over the weekend. Likewise, what else is over the weekend? RSL, the Revival StarCraft League. The finals are going to be on Sunday. The lower bracket matches are going to be on Saturday, so we're going to be wrapping up and crowning our Season 5 champion. Season 5 champion for RSL will be this weekend. The GSL finals are going to be next weekend. Oh, so back to back. All the content, all the StarCraft. So again, we're going to be live later on tonight in around 6 hours. Oh boy. In around 6.5 hours, we're going to be live with the GSL, and tomorrow we're going to be live with Code for Giants Cup. Be live with some Brazilian StarCraft. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next time for some more StarCraft. If you want to tune into more of our VOD content, you can do so via YouTube. !socials in the chat. We do stream on a daily basis. As you can see here, we're live every day, multiple times a day. Plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft. And if you can't watch it live, YouTube is the place to be, as all the VODs are eventually uploaded to YouTube. Otherwise, thanks for watching. If you want to support us monetarily, you can do so via Patreon. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments on a regular basis, and you can help us grow our tournaments as well. Currently, you can see the current stretch goal just under me. for our next big goal for our event. So you can help us reach that via Patreon if you wish. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the support, and we'll see you guys either tonight for GSL or tomorrow for Code for Giants Cup. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna go pass out. I'm gonna get tired. I don't know if you heard it. I do apologize. I think it was the first series of the day, ByuN versus Geralt. I was very, very low energy. My energy picked back up for the finals, thankfully, but for the semis, I was like slurring my words. I was like, very sleepy, very tired. I'm gonna go get a nap. I'm gonna have a nap. Get ready for tonight. See you then. Until then, ciao. Bye, ciao. Hasta luego.